Two-stroke dirt bikes generally take longer to warm up than a four-stroke, but I still see people warming them up too fast or even too slow, and both of these can cause problems. Warming them up too fast, I see a lot of people, whether they're anxious or they just like to rev their bike and hear the sound, is they start it when the engine is cold and super smoky. It sounds horrible. I just cringe and I want to punch them when they do that when the engine's cold. They want to warm it up faster, but this is doing a lot more harm than good. So when you warm the engine up on your two-stroke too quickly, the internal engine parts, they expand at different rates because they're different thicknesses and different, slightly different materials of metal. So when they expand at different rates, like the piston and the cylinder, the piston's going to grow faster than the cylinder does, and that little bit of clearance between the piston and cylinder is going to shrink into nothing if you warm it up too fast. And this can cause the engine to cold seize, or it can cause the crank bearings to seize as well. If you're not getting many hours out of your two-stroke engine, it may be that you're warming it up too quickly. But if you're warming it up too slowly, like if you're starting it, leaving the choke on, letting it idle for 5 minutes, and you're following a spark plug, you're taking too long to warm it up. Even though two-stroke dirt bikes can idle, they're not meant to sit and idle for very long. You want to be revving them, riding them after you're properly warming up. But if you warm it up too slowly, too much fuel is going to get into the engine, especially if you leave the choke on, and this fuel is not going to be burned properly. It's going to come out as smoke, as spooge, out the tailpipe, the black oily stuff running down the silencer, and this can cause your spark plug to easily foul, especially if the jetting is off. And if your jetting's off, I have a free guide that you can start doing that in just a few minutes. So how do you know when your two-stroke engine is properly warmed up? When the engine is cold, I like to start it. I like to turn the choke off as quickly as possible. Make sure it's still idling. I like to blip the throttle, keep it running at low RPM. Do that, maybe let it idle and blip the throttle until I feel the radiator or the side of the engine is getting warm, and then make sure I have all my gear on, and then I start riding it, maybe shifting second, third gear, but still keeping the RPMs low. And if you can touch the radiators or the cylinder, the side of the engine, and it's not super hot, then the engine's not fully warmed up yet. You want to keep doing that until the engine is fully warmed. So if you give it more gas and it's smoking, bogging, hesitating, sputtering, then it's probably not warmed up yet. So when the engine is hot that you can't even touch it because it'll burn you, and the throttle response is really crisp and clean and it shifts and runs really well, then the engine is warm. This usually takes anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes depending on your specific bike and how warm the temperature is outside and how well it's jetted. Warming the engine up properly is just one way to prevent a catastrophic failure on the trails that could leave you stranded. And if you want to learn the 3 main ways, free ways, to keep your dirt bike more reliable so that it lasts longer, I have a free guide. You can go to motocrosshideout.com/prevent, or the link is in the description below. This is Kelly Fager from Motocross Hideout. Learn more, ride more, so you can stay safe and have fun for many years to come.